she lesson maronga meaning and style be why explaining style be why deep lesson ma jaro a cho စလုံးနေရလေတခါကျရင်ကိုသိတာရဲ့ meaning ကတခုပေါ့နော်ဒါပေမဲ့ context ပြောင်းသွားတဲ့အချိန်မှာကိုသိတာရဲ့ meaning မဟုတ်တော့ဘဲနဲ့အခြား indirect meaning တွေဖြစ်နေမှာဖြစ်တယ်ပေါ့နော်အဲ့ခါကျလို့ရှိရင် context ကိုကြည့်ပြီးတော့အဲ့ဒီပြောင်းသွားတဲ့စလုံးရဲ့ meaning ကိုဘယ်လိုခံမှန်းမလဲပေါ့နော် I give you a story as I crawl along the motorway ပုံမှန်တချို့သိရ crawl ကဒီလိုမျိုးလူကနေ crawl သွားတာသိတာလေဒါပေမဲ့ဒီမှာ motorway လို့ပြောတော့လေလူကနေ crawl သွားတာပြောတာ No it's not here I crawl along the motorway man my car was moving slowly because I got stuck in traffic jams that's why we're using I crawl along the motorway so the original meaning of crawl along changes it has a new meaning and this one I was having second thoughts about staying with Marcus. So, you've already made a decision? Then, have you finished making a decision or are you still thinking about it? Yes, you are still thinking about it. Do you want to change your decision? Yes. ဒီမှာဆိုရင် second thoughts မယ်ဟိုဒုတိယမြောက်အသွေးတွေပါထက်ကွာနောက်တစ်ခါပြန်ပြီး thinking again ပေါ့နော် I'm thinking again and I'm thinking about changing my decision လို့ပြောရတယ်အတူတူပဲပေါ့နော်ဟို thoughts ရဲ့ meaning နဲ့မတူတော့ဘဲနဲ့လေ and this one I've been in two minds about it တကယ်ကသူစိတ်နှစ်ခုဖြစ်နေတာမဟုတ်ဘူးလေဒီ version နဲ့တိတ်ပဲက I've been in two minds about it mean I'm not sure I can't decide ညမဒီမှာဆိုရင်ဒီ gift မှာဆိုရင်she's not sure whether she should buy a blue or a pink one. We call that kind of thing. I've been in two minds about it. ဒါတချို့မြန်မာမှာဆိုသုံးတယ်လေငါစိတ်နှစ်ခွဖြစ်နေတယ်ဆိုရင် it shows you cannot decide really quickly. ဒီမှာဆိုလဲ minds ရဲ့အတိတ်ပဲကပြောင်းသွားတာပေါ့နော်။ I've been in two minds about means I'm not sure. I can't decide or I'm indecisive. This one. It was sweet of him to invite me. Usually, we use sweet to describe the taste, right? The mangoes are sweet, the oranges are sweet. Here, we're describing a person. So it was sweet of him, man. Yes, it was kind of him. We use it when someone offers you advice or they help you. We can say, oh, it was so sweet of you to help me. We can use like that. And I'm not sure. Sweet of someone. To do something like that ပေါ့နော်အဲ့ဒါဘာနဲ့တူတူပဲလဲဆိုရင် you were very kind လို့ပြောရတယ်တူတူပဲပေါ့နော်အဲ့ဒီမှာဆိုလဲ sweet ဒီ context ပြောင်းသွားတဲ့အချိန်မှာငကို sweet ရဲ့ meaning မဟုတ်တော့ဘဲနဲ့ kind ဆိုတဲ့ meaning ကိုရောက်သွားတယ်ပေါ့နော် this one I wasn't tied up ဟိုတချို့သိတာ tied up ကလူကြိုးတွေပိုင်းနဲ့ခြေရတဲ့ tied up ကိုသိတာ but is it that meaning in this context No I wasn't tied up so I said yes So it means, are you busy or free? Yes, I wasn't tied up, man. You are free. So if I say I'm tied up, it means, yes, I'm not free. I'm busy and I have other things to do. တင်စားပြီးတော့ metaphor အနေနဲ့သုံးတာပေါ့နော်။တခုခုဒီကြိုးတွေနဲ့ခြေတာလှုပ်လို့မရလို့မျိုးပဲကွာ။အလုပ်တွေရမ်းရှုံနေတယ်လှုပ်တော့မရဘူးလှုပ်ဖို့အောင်ချိန်မရှိဘူးအရင်ပြည့်ကျက်နေတယ်လောက်ရမယ့်ချိန်နေအဲ့ဒါမျိုး metaphor အနေနဲ့ I wasn't tied up ဆိုပြီးသုံးတာပေါ့နော်အဲ့တော့ nego direct meaning မဟုတ်တော့ပဲ indirect meaning ဖြစ်သွားတာပေါ့နော် it's the same as I was free or I was tied up means I was busy this one but now it struck me that perhaps he wanted to go out with me so တချို့တည်း strike ကတော့ထုံးနဲ့ရိုက်တာကို strike လို့သိတာလေ is it hitting in this context No, here it struck me that man. I suddenly realized it.ဘာလို့လဲတော့နဲ့ရိုက်လို့ရှိရင်လည်းဖောင်းဆိုပြီးဖြတ်ကနေဖြစ်သွားတယ်အဲ့လိုမျိုးပဲသူစိတ်ထဲမှာဟဲ့ဒီလိုလားမသိဘူးဆိုပြီးရုတ်တရက်အဲ့လိုဖြတ်နေတွေးမိသွားတာဟိုသင်စားပြီးတော့ it struck me that လို့သုံးတာပဲ it's the same as I suddenly realized that and this one how could I be so thick? Usually we use thick for this is a thick book or this is a thick paper ဘာညာ the thick ကို literally သုံးလို့ရှိရင်ဒါထူရဲလို့ပြောတယ်ဒါပေမဲ့ဒီမှာလူကကြောက်ထူတာမဟုတ်တော့ဘူးဖြစ်သွား Yes, how could I be so stupid? ဒါမြန်မာမှာလည်းသုံးတယ်နင်ကအရင်ပိန်းတာပဲဆိုရင်ထူပိန်းနေပြောချင်တာပြောလိုက်နားမလည်ဘူးတခုဆိုရင်သဘောမပေါက်ဘူးပေါ့နော်အဲ့လိုမျိုး someone is really stupid and they don't get it really easily we can say you are so thick but it's an offensive word and it has a negative sense. This one. It was the last thing on my mind. So when something was the last thing on my mind, do you want to do it or do you want to avoid it? Yes, you want to avoid it because နောက်ဆုံးမှာဆိုရဲကွာဒါကြီးကိုလုံးဝမလုပ်ဘူးဆိုရဲ meaning ကစိတ်ကူးအောင်မထည့်ဘူးဆိုရဲအားမျိုးပေါ့နော်ဥပမာဒီမှာဆိုရဲ but a romantic relationship was the last thing on my mind mean I want to avoid a romantic relationship လို့ပြောရတယ်တူတူပဲပေါ့နော် and this one how can I get out of this တချို့တည်း get out က get out of a room get out of a building ဒီမှာဘာပြောချင်တာ yes get out of me to escape a problem to avoid a problem to find a solution so how can I get out of this mean how can I solve this problem or how can I escape this problem ဒီမှာလဲဆိုတော့ metaphor တွေနဲ့သုံးတာပေါ့အခန်းထဲအခန်းပြင်ထွက်လို့မျိုးပေါ့ကိုကဒီပြဿနာကြီးတွေကိုရောက်နေတယ်အဲ့ဒီပြဿနာတွေကရအောင်ထွက်ဖို့ကြိုးစားဖြေရှင်းတာမို့လို့ get out of လို့သုံးတာပေါ့နော် and look at this one is that you Marcus listen you're not gonna believe this so are we going to introduce good or bad news later သူကအရှိမလေး relationship တဲ့မဝင်ခြင်းဘူးလို့ဆိုရယ်သူ Marcus နဲ့ date ဖို့လေညင်းမှာလားလက်ခံမှာလား yes ညင်းမှာနော်အဲ့ဒီ you're not gonna believe this is a phrase for delivering bad news တကယ်သူ direct ဆိုတော့နေငါပြောရင်ယုံမှာမဟုတ်ဘူးဘာညာဆိုရင်မြန်မာမှာလည်းတုံးတယ်လေသတင်းတွေနေငါပြောရင်ယုံမှာမဟုတ်ဘူး तू ကစစ်ဘောပြတ်သွားကြီးတိတာပါအဲ့လိုမျိုးပေါ့နော်တခုခုက shocking ဖြစ်တဲ့ news တခုခု bad news တခုခု sharing လုပ်တော့မယ်ဆိုလေလူတွေကစကားပလင်ခံနေတုံးကြရတယ်ဒီမှာလည်းအဲ့လိုမျိုးပဲပေါ့နော် bad news good news မှာလည်းတုံးတော့တယ် bad news မှာပုံများပါ you're not gonna believe this ဆိုပြောရင်အနောက်မှာပြောတော့မယ်ဟာ bad news ပဲဆိုပြီးတော့တန်းသိရပေါ့နော်ဒီမှာဆိုရင်စလုံးတွေအများကြီးတွေ့ရ crawl having second thought sweet ဒါပေမဲ့အဲ့ဒီစလုံးတွေဒီကိုသိတာတဲ့ meaning မဟုတ်ပဲねအခြား meaning တစ်ခုပြောင်းသွားတာလေသတိထားမိနေမှာပေါ့နော်ဒါပေမဲ့ကိုကအဲ့လိုပြောင်းသွားလို့အဲ့ဒါကြီးကိုသိပါမလားဆိုပြီးတော့အရင်စိတ်ပူစရာမလိုဘာလို့လဲဆိုတော့ context ကိုကြည့်ပြီးတော့ဒီစလုံးကဘာ meaning ဖြစ်နိုင်လဲဆိုတာလေပြန်ပြီးတော့ comment လို့ရတယ်ပေါ့နော်ပြန်ပြီးတော့ guess လုပ်လို့ရပါဘူးဒီမှာဆိုရင် you're not gonna believe this bad ဆိုရင်နောက်မှာဘာမှဆက်မြေရအောင်ကွာဒီ story ရဲ့အသွားလာကိုကြည့်ပြီးတော့အနောက်မှာ bad news လိုက်တော့မှာပဲဆိုပြီးတော့လေ comment လို့ရတယ်ပေါ့နော်အဲ့တော့ကိုကvocab လေ့လာတဲ့အခါကျရင်တိုင်းတစ်လုံးချင်းစီဆွဲထုတ်လေ့လာအထက်လေဒီလိုမျိုး text တစ်ခုထဲမှာထည့်လေ့လာပြီဒါကဘယ်လို meaning ဖြစ်နိုင်လဲ comment တာမျိုးပါလေပို့ပြီးတော့ effective ဖြစ်တယ်ပေါ့နော် so all of these are phrases right ဒီအကောင်ကအရှေ့ကြီးဆိုတော့ pronunciation မှာဘာလို့သွားမလဲဆိုရင်ဒီ sentence stress ရယ် syllable stress ရယ်နော် intonation နဲ့ညလေးပါမယ်ပေါ့နော်နောက်တစ်ခု crawl listen I had to crawl along the motorway I had to crawl along the motorway which word is the loudest I had to crawl along the motorway yes crawl မှာတဲ့ကျေဆုံးပေါ့နော်ဘာလို့လဲဆိုရင်ဒီ crawl တကယ် meaning က crawl ပေါ်မှာရှိနေရမလို့ so we pronounce တကယ် main stress ဒီ crawl မှာတန်ပို့ချဲအဲ့တော့ crawl ရောက်ပြီဆိုရင်အခြား slow နေနေရှင် crawl ကပို့ပြီး louder longer higher ဖြစ်တယ်ပေါ့နော် so repeat after me I had to crawl along the motorway I had to crawl along the motorway I had to crawl along the motorway that is the sentence stress and listen I was having second thoughts about it. I was having second thoughts about it. Which word is the loudest? Yes, second ma piano. ဘာလို့လဲဒါ first time ဟုတ်ဘူး second ပြန်တွေးနေလို့ပြောချင်လို့ပါ အဲ့တော့ sentence တွေတန်ထွက်ရင်ကျ sentence တိုင်းကိုလေဟို stress တလုံးချင်းစီကိုလေအတူတူ stress မဖြစ်ဘူးအဲ့ဒီ sentence မှာဘယ်စလုံးကအရေးကြီးဆုံးလဲပေါ့နော်အဲ့ဒါကိုရွေးလိုက်ပြီးတော့အဲ့ဒီစလုံးကိုလေပို့ပြီးတော့သိတာအောင်ထွက်ပြရပေါ့နော် so repeat after me I was having second thoughts about it cognitive speech လည်းရှိမယ် thoughts about ချိန်လို့ရတယ်ပေါ့နော် I was having second thoughts about it about နဲ့ it နဲ့လည်း about it ချိန်လို့ရတယ် I was having second thoughts about it I was having second thoughts about it I was having second thoughts about it and listen I was in two minds about it I was in two minds about it ဘာမှဖြစ်ရ words here yes two minds မှာဖြစ်ရအောင်နော်ဘာလို့ဆိုတော့ तू ကအဓိက content word ဖြစ်နေရောလေနောက်ပြီးတော့ minds နဲ့ about နဲ့ minds about ပြီးတော့တခါ about နဲ့ it နဲ့ပြန်ချိန်တော့ about it so repeat after me I was in two minds about it I was in two minds about it အရှိမလဲ was in wasn't နဲ့တွဲသုံးတယ်အဲ့ညမှာအခြား tense တွေပေါ့နော် I've been in ဆိုတာ I've been in အဲ့လိုမျိုးချိန်ပြီးပြောရပါတော့ so repeat I was in two minds about it I was in two minds about it I've been in two minds about it I've been in two minds about it I'm in two minds about it I'm in two minds about it so the အရှိက tense ပေါ်မှာမတည်ပြီးတော့ချိန်တဲ့ဟာလေးကနည်းပြောင်းနိုင်တယ်ပေါ့နော် It was sweet of him to invite me It was sweet of him to invite me Which words are the loudest Yes sweet ရယ်နောက်ပြီးတော့ဒီ invite ရယ်ပေါ့နော်အဲ့မှာ connected speech ပေါ့ sweet နဲ့ of နဲ့ကိုချိန်တော့ sweet of ဖြစ်သွားပြီးရင်အဲ့ဒီ of ကနေ him ကိုပြန်ချိန်တော့လေ h တန်ပျောက်သွား sweet of him အဲ့လိုအမြန်ထွက်တဲ့ခါကျရင် h တန်ပြောဟို sweet of him ဆိုတော့ညင်းနေမထွက်တော့ဘူးနော် sweet of him and ဟိုပြီးတော့ to က tat ဆိုတဲ့အတန်ကိုပြောင်းသွားရပါတော့ so repeat after me It was sweet of him to invite me It was sweet of him to invite me It was sweet of him to invite me အဲ့ညမှာ you ဆိုရင် it was sweet of you It's so sweet of you you can respond like that အဲ့လို v တန်လေးနည်းနည်းပါရပါတော့ sweet of you ဆိုပြီးတော့ now this one listen I was tied up last week I was tied up last week Which word is the loudest Yes tied ရယ် up ရယ်ပေါ့နော်အဲ့မှာမှာလေ up မှာပို့ပြီးတော့အတန်ကိုပို့ဖြစ်ရယ်ဘာလို့လဲဆို phrasal verb ပုံနဲ့ adjective ပုံနဲ့သုံးတာမဟုတ်လို့လေနောက်ပြီးတော့ connected speech ပေါ့နော် tied နဲ့ up နဲ့မှာ tied up ချိန်လိုက်တယ်ပေါ့နော် so repeat after me I was tied up last week I was tied up last week I was tied up last week you can pronounce like that and this one listen it struck me that yes struck မှာဖြစ်ရပေါ့ဘာလို့လဲဆိုတော့အဲ့ဒါ content word ဖြစ်နေလို့ကျန်တာတွေက grammar function word ဖြစ်ပြီးတော့ပြီးတော့အနောက်မှာကိုကြိုက်တဲ့ sentence ထည့်လို့ရတယ်ပေါ့နော် repeat after me It struck me that he wants to quit the job It struck me that he wants to quit the job It struck me that he wants to quit the job and this one listen How could I be so thick How could I be so thick Yes thick is the loudest word because ကဒါအဓိကထားပြီးပြောချင်တာနောက်ဒီမှာ intonation ကလေကိုယ့်ကိုပြန်ပြီးတော့လေ blaming လုပ်နေတဲ့ tone ဖြစ်တဲ့အတွက်ကြောင့်မို့လို့ဒီ falling tone ရဲ့ angry ဖြစ်တဲ့ sense အဲ့လိုမျိုး stronger volume လေးနဲ့နည်းလေးပါတယ်ပေါ့နော် so repeat after me ပြီးတော့ could I ချိန်တယ်ပေါ့နော် How could I be so thick How could I be so thick How could I be so thick we can use like that and listen It was the last thing on my mind It was the last thing on my mind Which words are the loudest Yes last year mine ရပေါ့နော်ဘာလို့ဒါအဓိက content word ဖြစ်နေအောင်ညပြီးတော့ thing on အဲ့လိုမျိုးချိန်လို့လည်းရပါပေါ့နော် so repeat after me It was the last thing on my mind It was the last thing on my mind. It was the last thing on my mind. Yes. Now, listen. How can I get out of this? How can I get out of this? Yes, out မှာဖြစ်ရနော် phrasal verb ဖြစ်နေလို့ပြီးတော့ get နဲ့ out နဲ့ get out ပြီးတော့တခါ out နဲ့ off နဲ့ပြန်ပြီးတော့ချိန်တော့ out of get out of အဲ့လိုဖြစ်သွားပြီပေါ့နော်ပြီးတော့မှနောက်မှာ this လာမယ်ပေါ့နော် so repeat listen and repeat how can I get out of this how can I get out of this how can I get out of this ရချို့ဒီ drilling လုပ်ရင်လေဟို video pass လုပ်ပြီးတော့မှလိုက်ပြောလို့ရတယ်တောက်လျှောက်ဖွင့်ထားရင်လေလိုက်ပြောလို့မိမှာမဟုတ်ဒီမှာကြားထဲမှာ gap ထားရင်လေ video ရမ်းကြာအောင်မှာဆိုလို့အဲ့တော့ကွာနားထောင်မြင်ရင် video pass လုပ်လိုက်ပြောကြည့်ပြီးရင်ပြန် start လုပ်လိုက်ပြောကြည့်အဲ့လိုလုပ်လို့ရတယ်ပေါ့နော် and this one listen you're not gonna believe this but which words are the loudest yes တကူကဒီမှာ negative sentence ဖြစ်နေရောလေ not မှာဖြစ်မယ် believe မှာဖြစ်မယ်ပြီးတော့လေပြောလို့မပြီးသေးဘူးအနောက်မှာဆက်ပြောမှာဆိုတော့လေဒီ this မှာလေ intonation ကတက်သွားမှာ you're not gonna believe this but this မှာတက်သွားပြီးတော့မှာ but မှာဆက်ပြောရပေါ့နော်ဥပမာထားပါ you're not gonna believe this but I lost my phone အဲ့လိုမျိုးလေးသုံးလို့ရတယ်ပေါ့နော်နောက်ပြီးတော့ bad news ကို deliver လုပ်နေရဆိုတော့ intonation က falling tone သုံးမယ်ဟိုအရင် you're not gonna believe this ပါညာအဲ့လိုမျိုးပျော်နေတဲ့တန်နဲ့မပြောဘူးပေါ့နော်ဟုတ်ဒါနောက်မှာကိုက bad news ကို deliver ဖြစ်မှာဖြစ်တော့ကြောင့်မလို့ falling tone နဲ့ပြောတယ်နောက်အဲ့လိုစိတ်သက်ကြနေတဲ့အတန်မျိုးအဲ့လိုမျိုး tone နဲ့ပြောရပေါ့နော် so listen and repeat after me you're not gonna believe this but I failed my driving test You're not gonna believe this, but I failed my driving test. You're not gonna believe this, but I failed my driving test. So, now we're in exercises. I give you jumble words, rearrange them to make a sentence. For example, here, believe to about it. Una face mamila. Yes, you're not gonna believe this, but I lost. You have to rearrange like that. Oh, got the sentence for labi so the video kana yamme. Sa chang pya mi sna jin me. Pi lo shin phi u jin me po. And this one. Yes, how can I get out of doing this homework? This one. Yes, I'm in two minds about going to Greece. This. University is the last thing on my mind. This. Yes, it was sweet of him to take us. This time, you have to fill in the gaps. The phrase it, the word will be there. I'll say period. Actually, I'm having what kind of thoughts? Yes, second thoughts. And this one. That's the last thing on my mind. And this one. Gap ကိုရပြီဆိုဗီဒီယိုခဏရက်လိုက်လို့ရတယ်။စဉ်းစားပြမှာအဖြစ်ကိုကြည့်လို့ရတယ်ပေါ့နော်။ Do you really want to go to the wedding? Not really, but I can't. I want to say I can't escape it. I can't avoid it. So, I can't get out of it. This one. You're not gonna believe this, but delivering good or bad news? Bad news. Did he invite all of you? Yes, it was very sweet of him. He's a lovely man. This one. Are you going or not? I'm still in. two minds about it, actually. Did you think she looked like her sister? Yes, I was. I suddenly realized. I was surprised, so I was struck by how similar they are. Could we talk about it this morning? I'm afraid I'm tied up this morning. I'm not free. I'm busy. Why are you so late? Half the road was closed, so we were crawling along for ages. He may not have understood the instructions. Yeah, he's a bit stupid, so he's a bit thick. Now, we are in gut feeling again, but this time, it will be direct meanings. Yeah. Literal meanings ကိုဖြည့်ပြရမှာပေါ့နော် အရှိရတော့ကတွေ့ခွက်ပြီးစဉ်းစားတာ meanings မဟုတ်ဘဲနဲ့ For example here, Layla is only 8 months, so she's still across the living room floor. She's doing what? Yes, crawling. It's a very book, almost 1,000 pages. Very thick. This one. These oranges are lovely. The taste is sweet. The men wear both hands behind their backs. So it is tied up. Yeah, that direct meaning go here. This one. I saw him. The dog with a large stick. So, yes, strike him. The policeman stopped me and asked me to leave the car, so to get out of the car. This one. I've just had a Carrie. Do you think we could hire a car for the weekend? I've just had a. You were thinking, so you just had a thought, Carrie. I think his was disturbed when he had that accident. So, the way he thinks, so his mind was disturbed. Now, I give you the questions with the target word. Questions ရတဲ့ the indirect meanings နဲ့ယူတာပေါ့နော် အဲ့တော့မေကုံပြန်ဖြေအချိန်မှာလေဒီစလုံးတွေကိုအဲ့တိုင်းပြန်ကောက်ပြီးပြန်ဖြေမှာဒါကိုသုံးပြပါအောင်ပေါ့နော်အဲ့တော့ question ကြားပြီးွားရရင် video pause လုပ်မယ်အဖြေစဉ်းစားပြီးဖြေကြည့်မယ်ပြီးရင် example answers ကိုနားထောင်မယ်ပေါ့နော် When was the last time you had to crawl along the motorway? Well, I think for me the last time I had to crawl along the motorway as long as I can remember, it was last week when I was going shopping together with my family. I think it was like at 9 a.m. in the morning. So it was during the rush hours. And we got stuck in the traffic jams, I think for like 1 hour or at least 50 minutes. And it was really terrible, and we had to wait for a long time to crawl along the motorway, and plus the weather was really hot, so I remember feeling so terrible while getting trapped in that traffic. Do you usually have second thoughts after making a decision? Well, for me, I would say I'm a bit stubborn. So it's rare that I have second thoughts after making up my mind. When I set my mind on doing something, I would always do it without having second thoughts about it because I believe that I'll be able to do it. Or even if it went wrong, I still think it would be worth it because it's finally my decision and it's what I wanted to do after all. Do you think it is sweet of neighbors to share food with you? Well, I do think it is kind and it is sweet of my neighbors to share food with me. I live in a new neighborhood. I just moved into this town, and I'm really glad that I have neighbors who always share their food with me. Like every time they have homemade food, like homemade mohinga or other salad or different kinds of dishes, they would always come up and send it to me. And I also trying to share my homemade food, like baked cookies or brownies with them. I think it's such a good behavior among neighbors, and it's a sign of like friendship or making friends with them by sharing food together. How do you relax after being tied up for many days? Well, for me, I don't have a lot of classes on weekdays, but I had too many classes on the weekends. So after being tied up for the whole weekend, what I normally do is I would just go to a cafe near my house. And then, there's a small garden there. I can just listen to this sounds of water, and then the soft music, and sometimes I have a conversation with my friends or my family members, and I think it kind of allows me to relax and unwind after being tied up for many hours. When was the last time an idea struck you? Well, the last time an idea struck me was when I was thinking about the design of the PowerPoint for creating this series. At first, I was in two minds about choosing a color background, and I was planning to go with a really dark background like a black or brown, and then it struck me that using a dark background can make it really hard for the visibility of the font. So I just decided to use a soft one, and then I decided to use a darker font color. I think I made a right decision. Have you ever had a coworker who's really thick? It can be a bit offensive. Well, I would say I'm a bit lucky when it comes to workplace because I work with people who are really smart and intelligent and reliable. But if I have to imagine, I think it would be a bit annoying if you had a coworker who's really thick and they would need you all the time to explain the simple steps to them. Yeah, but I think we would just have to put up with them. After all, we're just working at the same office, right? But like I said before, if you are working on a very important project and you have someone who's really thick, it can be annoying to put up with someone like that in a team. What's the last thing on your mind for this year? Well, for me, the last thing on my mind for this year is probably getting married. Because I think I like the freedom of being single. And every time I have a conversation with my friends, the first thing that they will bring up is how marriage life is so terrible. So I would say that getting married is the last thing on my mind for this year. How do you usually get out of arguments at work? I would say that I am such a big people pleaser. I mean, no matter what happens at my workplace, although I'm doing my own business right now, in the past I used to work at a company, and back in those days, I remember saying yes to every request and offer because I just want to get out of arguments, and most of the times, I think it's better to avoid an argument and to just focus on what you're doing because I at that time I strongly believe that having the good relationship with your coworkers, like getting along with them, is really important to create a good working atmosphere. So I always try to get out of arguments by saying yes, you're right, or I agree with you. when was the last time someone delivered you bad news? You can use the line in the bracket to reply. Well, the last time someone delivered me bad news was last week. I have a friend who's trying to take the driving test for like I don't remember, maybe third or fourth time, and then I remember I was having coffee one evening, and then he was like, "You're not gonna believe this, but I failed my driving test again." And although it was bad news, it's totally expected because he never spends so much time on practicing, and then it was like his third or fourth time failing the driving test. But I think he would take the test again because he really needs a driving license for getting to work or for his commuting. But he probably needs really good practice and maybe a good tutor to train his driving skills. So that's all about familiar words, new meanings. I think in coming class, we'll be looking at births. Births တွေကနေပြီးတော့ဒီ form တွေပြောင်းသွားတဲ့အခါမှာဘယ်လို meaning တွေဖြစ်သွားနိုင်လဲ။နောက်အဲ့လို births တွေရဲ့ new meaning တွေပေါ့နော်။ကိုသိထားတဲ့ births တွေကကိုသိထားတဲ့ meaning မဟုတ်ဘဲနဲ့အခြား meaning ဖြစ်နေတဲ့ဟာလေးကြည့်မှာပေါ့နော်။ See you in the next episode.